If you're struggling to get high-ticket customers or buyers for your info and coaching offers from your reels, and you're stuck getting extremely low views that don't generate any buyers, it's because you don't understand this one simple thing, which is how to craft hooks that predictably not only go viral, but also attract high-ticket customers capable of buying your info and coaching offer. And in today's video, I'm gonna break down to you the exact findings that my business partners and I have after testing thousands of hooks for some of the biggest personal brands in the game. And as a result of that, we actually ended up finding 5 proven hook frameworks that predictably attract high-ticket customers. Let's get right into this. So generally speaking, from a very high-level perspective, the biggest thing you need to understand is that there's 2 types of hooks, okay? The number one is basically like hooks that get views, right? I just call them like viral hooks. And then hooks that attract buyers. And there's a significant difference. There's certain hook types, like, if let's say we talk about stuff that the unemployed are very interested in, that just goes super viral, but they attract the wrong type of calibers. They don't attract people who are serious about making money. They attract freebie seekers, all of that type of stuff. And so the type of hooks that get views are the ones you want to stay away from. And there's most likely the ones you're using right now. And on the other side, we have hooks that attract buyers. The difference here is super simple. The one thing is, from an emotional perspective, hooks that get views, they're focused on just like triggering your curiosity and triggering like, oh my God, what the fuck happened? Whereas hooks that attract buyers, they're actually centered around like an outcome. They're centered around like leaving you with an actionable piece of advice that leads you to wanting to take action. So let me show you a few examples, right? They're all kind of viral pieces of content, okay? One's like, before OnlyFans, net worth $0. This creator here is an OF chick that's made a lot of money. On the flip side, you basically have, if I had to start my Instagram from scratch, show the outcome here. Again, this clearly shows a bit more intriguing, right? This one here is probably going to get you like customers because people want to learn how to start your Instagram from scratch. Whereas people, I don't know, try a bunch of like, broke people or just like motivation finding people that are trying to learn about this shit. Same thing here. This guy, Tom Cruise, is an amazing creator. He's doing a really freaking good job. This video in particular is a video that gets views, right? Because he uses just like, oh my God, this collab, like big announcement type stuff. This is not really something that people are going to look at and be like, wow, I need to buy this, right? Because they see a Kodak Black inside of your video. Whereas on the right side, you have how Neurogon went from a Shark Tank failure to 100 million a year. If you see that and you're like, oh wow, I actually need to use their content strategy or like whatever marketing strategy they're using, that attracts buyers. And the last thing is super simple, from the same creator, right? Rob's amazing. If your body count under 300, you ain't freaky enough. Again, that's going to go get you a lot of views, but it's not going to attract the type of people that are like, oh, I want to learn how to build an Amazon brand. Whereas how to make $1 million on TikTok Shop in less than 12 months, again, it's a very clear outcome, very clear cut to the chase, which means as a result, people will be like, wow, this is awesome. I want to go learn that. The issue that people have when they craft their hooks is they make a few mistakes. One, they just aim for maximum virality, which means they'll say outlandish shit because they're like, oh, if I get more views, I'll get more buyer, which is wrong. The second issue is they're trying to go like way too broad. They're not saying stuff that's like very tangible. They're not saying stuff that's like speaking to the right person. For example, if you speak to a nurse, you want to use very nurse-specific lingo, and you want to make it very outcome-driven. They're like, oh, cool, I know exactly what I'm getting and why I should be watching this. So that's why these hooks are super important. Let me show you how these views, how they differ in like a view sort of sales context. When you take a hook that's primarily destined to drive sales or like drive, views, you get a bunch of views. So the moment they stop watching, their reactions tell you the world, because all they're showing is they're either like laughing, they're like, oh my God, they might even be a bit angry, right? And every one of those happy people makes a decision. You're like, oh, this is so funny. Yeah. They're not leaving with intent. And that's the number one thing you got to create. If your hooks don't get the type of people in that want to have intent, you're not going to make a lot of sales off of it. Now let's look at customer hooks, right? We use them quite a bit. It's essentially like customer hooks, you still get views, but people, they have this shock moment, or they actually feel inspired. And as a result, because more people are like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And like less people are like, just, oh, I'm entertained. You actually get a lot more buyers because like, oh my God, like, paradigm has been shifted. And that obviously all happens from the hook, because that's what sets the intention with what you're doing. With that said though, because I want to keep this super fresh and actionable take, let's go look at some proven hook frameworks, okay? I'm gonna start with the celebrity hook, which I've uncovered here already. The really cool thing about the celebrity hook is this, because again, we need to go and get a shit ton of views and a shit ton of customers. The celebrity hook is super simple. I'll show you the examples here. You have obviously one, how Neurogon went from Shark Tank failure to 100 million. exposing the smartest people on TikTok. Here's great two examples, and reason super simple, especially when you don't have a lot of social proof. You being able to go out and say, hey, look, here's how XYZ achieved this result, and you can really break it down. You get to demonstrate your expertise. It like showcases that you know something, and it showcases your like cutting edge to an extent. As a result of that, when people see that you know your shit and they're like, oh wow, this is actually interesting. Customers are interested in tacticals and like actual breakdowns. And when they see that, damn, this person knows what they're talking about, they might want to go proceed and get like a freebie, or like they might actually reach out to you, be like, damn, I saw this video, super interested in this. The second thing that I want to go, and this is honestly my favorite scenario, is scenario hook. So scenario hook is basically where you just pick a scenario that you want to break down, whether that be a goal that people trying to achieve, something that you've achieved, or just if I had to do X, Y, and Z, here's what I would do. You want to put yourself in the customer's shoes and say, hey, what are they trying to achieve? And you show them that. So this girl, Alba here, she basically does this hook. If I had to start my Instagram from scratch in 2025, here's exactly what I would do. And she gives the entire strategy blueprint. Again, super valuable because you leave with a strategy. And now you might be like, oh, what if I just like get her to help me with the implementation? Bam, you have people that want to work with you. If you basically say this one, $20,000 can buy you 6.6K per month in passive income for life. You just need to know where to invest it. Steal this formula to build a widely profitable side hustle. This hooks you, is like, oh wow, I'm getting a strategy. If you're a motivation seeking, non-buyer demographic type person, you're not going to watch this video because it doesn't promise you any crazy outputs. Whereas if you're a tactical, like intent buyer type person, you're gonna look at that and be like, wow, this seems valuable. Let me actually consume the time with it. Again, I love scenario hooks because that hook allows you to paint the picture in their head. What could be if I did X, Y, and Z? If it creates a mental picture, obviously that creates a lot of desire to an extent, right? So I'll show you this as an example. If I woke up tomorrow and had $0 in my name, here's what I would do. It's super simple, but it works, right? Because they're like, oh yeah, that's actually me. Or if I woke up tomorrow and had 0 followers and I need to make $10,000 in the next 30 days using my Instagram audience, here's what I would do. Now, next thing, which is honestly probably one of the most used ones and probably one of the easiest frameworks, is the outcome hook. With two examples here as well. Donald Trump just gave me this 1.25 million Airbnb for free. And then basically like how to build your personal brand in 90 days. This is really like just tactical. Obviously the up top is like mixed with a little bit of clickbait, but it gives you an outcome like, hey, if you want an Airbnb for free, watch this, right? Or if you want to build a personal brand, like do this. It attracts the type of people that want the outcome that you're prefacing with. And on top of that, it actually generates serious intent of people. The reason it works is super easy, right? It kind of gives you your secret sauce away. And when you give people your secret sauce and they're like, wow, this person knows more than me, it places you above them, which means they actually have some interest in actually learning from you. And so again, you can basically look at it as some examples that I found to be very effective is, here's how 5 million views on YouTube pay for his 200K G-Wagon. Or last month, I made this much money from my Airbnbs, like here's how. Those type of hooks, they just work extremely well because like people are outcome oriented, and that gives you the type of people that want to achieve the outcome, which means when you place an actual CTA later down the video, it actually works. Next up, we have what I call the news hook. Okay, so you can obviously see super simple, breaking, Poland just approved 0% income tax for parents. Here's how I use the tax code to legally pay as little as tax as possible. And the second thing, in the last 72 hours, Trump has done this, this, and this. This is meant to help with affordability, but it's actually making things worse. Again, super simple. The point here is we want to piggyback off the news because news provide great opportunities. And the people who follow the news, who read articles, who read newspapers online, are actually the type of people that might be within our demographic of buyers, unless you obviously target 19-year-olds. Scrap that then. Realistically, like it actually creates interest because also it shows you as a cutting edge like thought leader. If you can show, hey, here's this news article, here's how it actually relates to what I'm doing or what you and I could be doing, right? When obviously Trump did the whole big beautiful bill, we rinsed that for a lot of our clients accounts. We were like, yes, we can rinse the shit out of it. Like, hey, Trump's just done this, this, and this, and thanks to the big beautiful bill, you can now do whatever you want from an investment side. Those to me are like really, really good examples of like how I would be using the news. So if you have a news article, let's say, for example, let's say you do like untraditional like medicine stuff, like you do some weird like, voodoo stuff. And you see Brian Johnson like doing his little mushroom experiment. You should be jumping on that. Here's the summary of it, like here's why that matters to you, all of that stuff. As of right now, obviously, we have a scenario hook, right, which you can use to say, if I tried to lose 10 pounds of body fat in 30 days, here's exactly what I would do. Celebrity hook is like, Kylie Jenner lost, 30 pounds in the last 45 days, not because she did X, not because she did Y, but because she followed this 3-step protocol that I gave her. Outcome hook, again, if you want to make this much money, here's what to do. Here's how one Airbnb paid for my family holiday. And then obviously a news hook, we just went through that. The last hook that I want to walk you through is what I call the correction hook. And the correction hook kind of goes as follows. Don't buy hose, breaks easily, or like what shower heads to buy for your rentals. Avoid buying rentals in school zones. So I'll explain to you why this works. Number one, when you use a correction hook, where essentially you just call out a myth, you call out a misconception, you do something that people go like, oh my God, I didn't think of it this way. You kind of rewind someone's brain. These hooks are super effective because number one, they're pulling in a very aware audience. That's what Instagram shows it to. And as a result of it, right, because they show it to an aware audience, you actually are more likely to get people watching this video and it being recommended to people that are actually potential buyers. And again, people who want motivational stuff, they're not going to watch this type of stuff, which is why it's so effective. The second thing is it really allows you to kind of be established as an authority, because if you contradict what everyone else is saying, it kind of just makes you stand out a lot better. Let me show you this thing real quick. So for example, this guy Thatch does a great job. He basically used to be like, hey, don't buy this car, instead buy this property first. And like it does this little buy assets, not liabilities like reframe. Now he just like, don't buy this stuff, or don't buy from these shops, buy from there. And it kind of contradicts a lot of the other people, which makes him effectively stand out as an authority. And it's a great hook because people love negativity. They love negativity more than they enjoy positivity. And so when they see, oh, this is negative, they're intrigued by like, why is this negative thing happening? And so as a result of it, obviously they kind of do this whole spiel, which is why it works. Did you read the whole 5 proven frameworks? And the one thing I want you to go and do from that is I want you to go and do this. I want you to go and for each and every one of those, go and literally just watch this video again, take this hook, tweak it slightly, and then just go and run it up for your own brand. Because at the end of the day, like the hook is what drives most of the views. Your hook is kind of like your funnel filter. Let's call this H. The people who early on engage with this, it feed back to like Meta, like, oh, this is the type of person that watches it, which then they go, okay, cool. Let me find more of those people because obviously they're interested in it. And then as a result of it, let me go and like run that up. Whereas if your hook kind of filters, right? Obviously one, if your hook isn't attention grabbing to the right person, we don't want the wrong person. We want the right person. If it filters the right person through, then obviously at the end of it, you're going to make a shit ton of money. If you do some like celebrity bullshit, I'm like, oh, Kim Kardashian made this much money, blah, 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 and you tied it to like something super random that has nothing to do with Kim Kardashian. Obviously, people feel like you hit them with a bait and switch, which means they're not going to watch your video. And on top of that, the wrong type of people are going to see your video, which means it's just double counterproductive. Obviously, you want to aim for virality. You want to get millions of views, but focus on setting up your reels in a way where the right type of people actually view your content. And if you're serious about taking your info coaching business to the next level by building your personal brand on Instagram, you want to leverage our proven framework, get one-to-one feedback from myself, my business partner, and our team that's generated well over $100 million in info product sales, feel free to just drop me a message on Instagram to see if and how we can help. And otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.